really quick, I put the dates up on the board for the mastery checks. So you've got one on the 23rd, the 28th, the 1st, your performance panel is on the 27th. Okay, and then your unit 4B test is on the 6th as of right now. And guys, like finals are coming up. It's either the 7th or the 8th, or it's the 8th and like the 10th. I don't know which one it is, but that's coming up. So if your grade is not where you want it to be, this next unit you need to really kill. Okay. All right. So on here, what'd you get for number 2 in the top? 117. And what'd you get for the bottom? Okay. And then on the next one, and the bottom, on the next one, -21. And then what'd you get on the bottom? -3 plus 7 is 4. Okay. Make sure you pay attention to your signs. All right. What about -15 times -7? What is it? Okay. And then what's on the bottom? Okay. This one's where it starts getting tricky. What times 15? I'm sorry. What plus 15 would give us 25? 10. And then 10 times 15 is what? Okay. What times -3 would give us -27? Negative or positive? Okay. And then 9 plus -3 is 6. 9 times what would give us -108? Okay. And then 9 plus -12 is what? Okay. Don't lose this sheet because we're going to use it throughout the week. If that was kind of tricky for you, maybe we need to do some multiplication practice because this next unit really relies on your multiplication skills. Okay. All right. So go ahead and take a look at the notes for today. So looks like this. It says a picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay. If you didn't grab it, come grab it. And then take a moment, look at this picture. What do you notice? All right. So what do you see in this picture? Squares. Okay. Anything else that you notice? What about like the coloring of the squares? I know it's not on your paper, but up on the screen. Anything particular about that? They're different colors. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So we're going to learn how to write our quadratics. So we're still talking about quadratics in this unit from intercept form to standard form. Okay, so we're going to go from one to the other. Okay. And y'all have used these before. You just probably didn't know what they were called. These are called algebra tiles right here. Yeah, you've seen these before? Like you used to have them like actually manipulatives, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply x plus 1 and x minus 2. Okay. Each one of these tiles represents a different thing. So for instance, we've got this little 1 piece. So we have a 1 piece tile. That's a 1 by 1 square. What's 1 times 1? 1. Then we have the green piece. And that, sorry for my drawing, has a width of 1, but a length of unknown. What's 1 times x? X. Okay. Then we have a blue piece. And it has a width unknown and a length unknown. What's x times x? X squared. But all of these represent areas. Yeah? With me so far? Okay. All right. So we're going to take x plus 1. So we're going to draw x plus 1. X plus 1. So this is a 1 tile. This is an x tile. And then we have x. And then minus 2. So we're going to do a minus 1. And then we're going to do another minus 1 tile. Draw that on your paper. Now, our goal is to create a kind of like a perfect, like rectangle, square looking thing. Okay. So for instance, right here, we have a side length of x and we have another, we have a width of x. What's x times x? X squared. So we're going to draw an x squared inside here. Okay. Now we need this piece right here. So we've got x times 1. What does that give me? Just x. You see where I'm getting that from? Okay. Then we have this -1, and we have an x. So what's -1 times x? Okay. And then we have another -1 times x. So that gives me a -1x. And then we have this little spot over here. We got -1 times 1, which is -1. And -1 times 1, which is -1. Okay. All right, so now we've kind of completed our little rectangle. We're going to take everything that's on the inside and add it all up. So what is x squared plus x minus x minus x minus 1 minus 1? So x squared, can it be combined with anything? No. Okay, so we're going to bring him down. What's x minus x? What's 1 minus 1? 0. Okay, and then we have that -x. What's -1 minus 1? Okay. With me so far? So this is our final answer. We multiplied these two things out. So our final answer is x squared minus x minus 2. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't like algebra tiles. I don't like it. I'm a visual learner for the most part, but that confuses me. So what I do is, let me show you over here on the side, is we started with x plus 1, right? And then we had x minus 2 over here. I'm going to multiply the sides of the boxes to fill in the area. So what is x times x? Good. What's x times 1? 1x. What's -2 times x? And what's -2 times 1? Okay. I'm going to take everything inside and add it all up. So we've got x squared minus 2x plus x minus 2. And then we're going to combine our like terms, which will give us the exact same thing we got with the other one. So you could draw the tiles if that makes more sense to you, or you can do it with the area model. So on this one, we've got 2x. So we got 2 bars. We got an x, we got an x. And then we have a -1. -1. And then we have an x. And we have plus 3 little tiles. Let's see if yours matched up with mine. Okay, so now we're going to multiply the sides. So we got x times x, which gives us x squared. We've got x times x, which gives us x squared. And we've got -1 times x, which gives us -1x. Okay, so the way I'm doing this is I'm taking the sides and multiplying them together. Yeah, you're eventually going to want to do this one just because you'll have bigger numbers. But yes, you can pick and choose. All right, then we have 1 times x, which gives us 1x. X times 1, which gives us 1x. And we're going to repeat that. 1 times x, 1 times x, 1 times x, 1 times x. And that's a lot of boxes, right? And then we've got 1 times -1. So that gives us -1. Okay, so when I add up all of that, I'm going to get 2x squared. And then I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 1. So it'll be 5x minus 3. Now again, this is really long. And if you don't draw the boxes correctly, you mess up. So I'm going to do it the shortcut way. So 2x minus 1 and x plus 3. I'm going to multiply the sides. So we've got 2x times x. That's going to give me 2x squared. X times -1 is -1x. 3 times 2x is going to give us 6x. And 3 times -1 is going to give us -3. I want to just take a second and kind of show you something. You probably have already realized this, but if you look, this 2x squared is represented by these. This -1x is right here. This 6x is right here. And this -3 is right there. It's just a visual representation versus a, like, I don't know what you would call it, concrete representation. All right, so time to check your work. I'm going to do the box method or the area model method. Okay. Yeah. All right, so when you draw your box, you're just going to put this on the outside, this on the inside. I'm going to multiply. So that's going to give me 2x squared, x times 1, 2x times 4, 2x times, I'm sorry, 1 times 4. And then we're going to add up everything on the inside. So that's going to give me 2x squared plus 9x plus 4. Okay, is that what you got? Okay, I'm seeing some head nods. I'm seeing with the what? No, this is just saying, hey, the function 8. Yeah. Can you try this next one? Be careful of the negatives. Yeah. Okay, those are important. Okay, use a calculator in order to do these. So we've got -3x plus 2 and -x minus 2. When we multiply the side, we've got -3x times -x. That's going to give us positive 3x squared. We get -x times 2. That's going to give me -2x. -2 times -3x is going to give us 6x. And -2 times 2 is going to give us -4. When we combine everything on the inside, we're going to get 3x squared plus 4x minus 4. Okay, now your teacher maybe in middle school taught you this way, the distributed method. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but you can do that as well. Okay. So if you're like, I learned a different way, fine. Okay. Good so far. Okay, so this is really important for this unit. If you can't do the multiplying, you're not going to be able to do the opposite, which is factoring. Okay, and that's where we're going to eventually get to soon. Okay, so just a reminder, here's a diagram of the rectangle with the side lengths of x plus 1 and x plus 3. Use the diagram to show x plus 1 times x plus 3 and x squared plus 4x plus 3 are equivalent expressions. So if I multiply the sides, okay, that means I'm going to take x times x, and that gives me x squared. If I take 3 times x, that gives me 3x. If I take 1 times x, that gives me 1x. And 1 times 3 gives me 3. When I add up everything, that means I'm going to get x squared plus 3x plus x plus 3. I'm going to combine my like terms. So this will give me x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay. So you're going to draw the diagram as well as work the box to show what the standard form of this is. Standard form means that we're going to have that x squared, and then it's going to have a constant at the end. Okay. So you are able to do these. This one is a little different. Okay. We can use the distributive property and just distribute this guy. So if we do 2x times x, that gives us 2x squared. If we do 2x times 4, that's going to give us 8x. Okay. This right here is just a fancy way of saying x plus 5 times x plus 5. Okay. So go ahead and try those couple of problems. Please do not sit there and do nothing. I want to briefly walk you through factoring. Okay. So with factoring, it's kind of like the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. Okay. So when we do this, they give us the standard form, and we're trying to break it into factored form or intercept form. So we're going to draw this. So we've got x squared, and then we've got 5x. So we're going to draw 3 x's over here, 2 x's over here, and then 6 little ones in the middle, or on the bottom. What times what would give us x squared? X times x, right? Okay, what times x would give us 1x? X times 1. What times x would give us 1x? 1. What times x would give us 1x? 1. Down here, same thing. What times x would give us x? 1. What times x would give us x? 1. So we see that we have 3 ones up here, and we have 2 ones right here. So we've got x plus 3 on the top, and then x plus 2 on the side. Okay. I know that's a little tricky. We're going to jump down to this next one down here. Okay, so on this one, we've got an x squared, and then we have 7x. So we're going to divide into 4 over here. And then 3 over here. And then we're going to fill in this little space with types. I think that's too many. Hold on, pause. Now, here's the problem. You're trying to make a perfect rectangle, okay? So that does become a problem eventually, right? Like right now we've got 7 x's, but when we fill this in, it's going to be more than 8 tiles, right? So we're going to have some funkiness. Yes, you can do this with algebra tiles. At some point, you're going to get a little frustrated with having to draw all these boxes. So let me show you the quicker way to do this one. Okay. So if you draw a box and you put the first term in the first box and the last term in the last box, and you ask yourself, what 2 numbers can I multiply together to get me -8, but add together to get me 7? What 2 numbers can I multiply together to get me -8, but add together to get me 7? Multiply to get you -8, add to get you 7. What are factors of 8? 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Can I add 1 and 8 somehow to get 7? Yeah, that would be right. So 8 and -1, right? So we'd have 8x and -1x. Now we can figure out what the sides are, right? So what 2 numbers can I multiply together to get me x squared? X times x. What times x would give us 8x? 8. What times x would give us -1x? -1. And then I don't have to draw a bunch of tiles, right? All right, so let's look at the next one. Star box. First term goes in the first box, last term goes in the last box. We're gonna ask ourselves, what two numbers can I multiply together to get me -2, but add together to get me -1? Multiply to get you -2, add together to get you -1. Multiply to get you -2, add together to get you -1. What would you get? 2 and -1. Okay, so we're gonna fill those in. Would it be -1? 1 and -2. Good. And we got to make sure that we're careful on those signs. So we're going to get x times x. X times -2 would give us -2x. And x times 1 would give us 1x. Our final answer is that x plus 1 times x minus 2. And over here, that was x plus 8 times x minus 1. Okay, so that's what I got. Are there any questions on that? Okay. I don't expect you to know this walking out today. Okay, we're going to get a lot more practice on this stuff. The multiplying part, that's what you need to focus on. So again, Delta Math through Friday by 8 p.m. If you want to go ahead and start knocking out that multiplying and that factoring, that's fine. The multiplying I would start with first and then do the factoring, because we're going to get a little bit more practice on that tomorrow. Okay, so that's what your homework is. Please, if you borrowed a calculator, it needs to go back into the little thing because we need those for Friday. Okay, if we don't have them on Friday, that's gonna be a problem. Okay,